Welcome back to These Things Are Written on Friday, the end of the work week, and we end this week beginning a new chapter, chapter 24 of Acts. We find Paul, as we begin this chapter, in Caesarea. He has been sent down from Jerusalem to the governor of that area. His name is Felix, and to stand trial there before the Sanhedrin, and Felix will be the judge. He has agreed to judge this case and has ordered and called for the council to come down and present their case against Paul. We pick it up with verse 1 of chapter 24. And after 5 days, the high priest Ananias came down with some elders and a spokesman, one Tertullus, and they laid before the governor their case against Paul. And when he had been summoned, Tertullus began to accuse him, saying, "Since through you we enjoy much peace, and since by your foresight, most excellent Felix, reforms are being made for the nation, in every way and everywhere, we accept this with all gratitude. But to detain you no further, I beg you, in your kindness to hear us briefly. For we have found this man a plague, one who stirs up riots among all the Jews throughout the world, and is a ringleader for a sect of the Nazarenes. He even tried to profane the temple, but we seized him. By examining him yourself, you will be able to find out from him about everything of which we accuse him." The Jews also joined in the charge, affirming that all these things were so. There are a few interesting things with this. First of all, they came down with some elders, not the whole group, a subset. Probably this group that was sent to bring charges. Lenski, one of the commentators that I read, said probably it was just the Sadducees. Those who were in authority would send only those down because, remember, Paul had caused a whole problem as a result of saying that it was about the resurrection. A division between the Sadducees and the Pharisees, and the chief priest, being a Sadducee, would not want to see this happen again. So probably with him would simply come some Sadducees and not a blend of both. It also says that he brought a spokesman, one Tertullus. He's a Greek lawyer or an orator, but he wasn't part of the council. But yet he was brought to speak up for them, to give a polished speech before Felix, to make Felix feel that he could trust them and would be more likely to hear their case and to answer and judge in their way. Now the speech began to try to gain favor with Felix. You can see all of the flowery language, and this happens in today's day and age as well, doesn't it? Since we enjoy through you much peace, and since by your foresight, most excellent Felix, reforms are being made in this nation, blah, 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 all right? But he was buttering him up, so you could say, so that he might be able to convince him. Now, when he started the accusation, he said that this man was a plague, showing that he was the worst kind of offender. Then he gives the charges after that. He stirs up rebellion among the Jews, riots among the Jews throughout the world. He's a ringleader of a sect of Nazarenes. He has even tried to profane the temple. Now, let's do a truth test. During this time of elections in the United States, there's often newspapers that do truth test about some of those other things that they mention. Now, as we look at this proof text, remember, we're judging it against the Word of God and what is true, what we have read already. Did Paul cause the Jews to riot? No, Paul wasn't the one causing the riot. The Jews that were opposed to him caused the riots. It was them who were opposing Paul causing all the riots. It wasn't Paul who did it by his speech. No more than if I get someone upset at me and they slug me that I caused myself to get hit. It's not really that way. They are the ones who are doing the rioting, not Paul. Second of all, said he was a ringleader of a sect. Well, he was an important person in the early church. He was an evangelist, but he wasn't a ringleader. That would be James. That would be Peter and John. They were the ones that were the ringleaders of this sect in Jerusalem. Now, did he try to profane the temple? That was the original charge, remember? But Paul didn't bring a Gentile into the temple. And he himself had gone there to fulfill a vow, following all of the rules and the regulations of the Jewish law. The Jews also, it says, joined in the charge, affirming all of these things were so. And as a Christian, we kind of fall into that place where Paul does sometimes, don't we? We hear people saying horrible things about Christians, that we are to blame for this or that I've even heard it said that Christians were to blame for World War II. But none of that is true. We're blamed for things that are not our faults. If we look at it, it's the evil one trying to twist the truth, trying to get people to fall away from the truth found in Jesus Christ and to follow other ways. So when you are accused of falsehood by others, as when you hear these accusations against Christians, feel free to stand up against them, but do so with love and patience, so that all may know the truth that we have in Jesus. May God grant this to us today and always, for Jesus' sake. Go in peace. We'll see you next Monday. And on Monday, we're going to hear Paul's response. And it's Paul's, so you know it will be good. See you then.